What if I tell you that care assistants are earning more than £3,000 in the UK per month? Yes, you heard me right. People are raking as much money as care assistants in the UK, but they are doing it while they are very, very smart, because there are a lot of factors that people consider when coming here and working as care assistants, because some of these jobs, they do not rake you as much money as you think they really do. So let's get first to the facts, right? So what happens is that, or most of the people who are taking care assistant jobs in the UK come here as dependents. And what happens when you come here as a dependent? There are jobs, definitely with a dependent visa, you can do a lot of jobs in different industries. But the disadvantage is some of the very skilled jobs that are there you can't do until you acquire a skilled worker visa. So there are some of the industries that you're left out with a dependent visa. So in most cases, the only place where you get a welcoming gesture of joining the industry is in the care assistant or healthcare industry. And that is because the care assistant does not need as much qualification, so it is very easy for most of the dependents to come here and work as care assistants. In most cases, you'll find that once care assistants maneuver and get into the care, or once dependents maneuver and get into the care assistants profession, most of them have really understood the loopholes of managing and making more money. Actually, there's a very high percentage of care assistants who are making more money than even nurses. And this is why. Before we move further, remember to subscribe with the notification bell, leave me a comment, ask me a question down below on the comment section if you have any question. Remember to give this video a like, share with your friends who want to move and relocate to abroad. And guys, watch the video until the end so that you understand these kind of things that I share here and this kind of content, because unless you watch until the end, you will not be able to understand each and everything that I share. So let's get direct into how will you make this money as a care assistant in the UK. I am going to be sharing with you 7 practical ways for you to earn more money as a care assistant in the UK. This is to give you guidance whether you are already in the UK or you want and you plan to come here in the near future. And I really hope this video will give you an understanding of what it is like to be very smart and work intelligently compared to working very hard. So without much further ado, let's get into it. So tip number 1, do not get a permanent job. The reason why I will tell you do not get a permanent job as a care assistant is you need to hear me out, because some of you are already feeling like I am misguiding you. But the reason why you should not get a permanent job is because as a care assistant in the UK and you're permanently employed, your pay rate is 10 to 12 to a maximum of £12 per hour. And when on average, that's about in a month you'll be taking home around £1,300–1,400 per month. That's around 20 to 25k a year, £25,000 per year. The reason why I will tell you to shun away from getting a permanent job is, 1, it is very exhausting when you're working under someone permanently as a care assistant. 2, you have other tasks to take care of or to navigate through other than your main tasks, because you're employed permanently. That means sometimes even when your shift is over, your supervisor or your boss can ask you to do some certain kind of administrative work and you're obliged to help. So, and you're actually making 10 to 12 pounds per hour. It is not fair. People will make more, you will earn more if you sign up to tip number 2. So tip number 2, you register with an agency. What this means is, when you register with an agency, you're not working under any one permanent person. You're working with an agency, and that means you'll be earning more. Reason, because one, agents pay an average of from £14 to £14 to £16 per hour. That means when you're working with an agency, the agency is paid by an employer and they pay you. And can you imagine if an employer is giving you £10 and you're working for them full time, an agency is giving you £16 and you're working with them partly? And the reason why some people choose to register with an agency is because with working with an agency, there is no much restrictions. It's very easy. You go to work. Once you're done with your shift, you go home. It is very stress-free. You do not have extra administrative tasks. There is no much of being overstressed to do some kind of things that you are required to do as a permanent employee. And that is because when you're working with an agency, you are really coming, covering your shifts and leaving everything after you cover your shifts. Also, another advantage with working or registering with your agency is that you choose your own shifts. compared to when you're working under a permanent employer. They choose or they do a rota for you, and you cannot be very choosy on where or what shift to work. But when you register with an agency and you're working with an agency, you are able to choose literally your own shifts. For whatever shift you want, that is what you're working for, because you're working as a part-timer when you're registering with or working with an agency. Tip number 3, you work weekend shifts. This is because weekends pay more than weekdays. So remember, if you've followed now the tip of you registering with an agency, then now you go to the agency and you tell them you prefer to work the weekend shift. Definitely, most people want to chill. They want to relax, stay home with their families over the weekend. So that is where you come in when you register with an agency. That is how people are being able to make more than £3,000 per month, because they are working over the weekend. That does not mean you work all the weekends, but at least in a month you can choose to be working 3 weekends, then spending time with the family over the weekend, 1 weekend. And also, it is good for me to mention that when you're working definitely over the weekends, the shifts pay more, in the sense that you're working with an agency and you're registered under a specific agency. The weekend pay is between, again, £15 to £20. So it will make more sense if you want to make more money working as a care assistant when you're working with an agency and you're working weekend shifts, because the deal is to make more money. Another tip that will be able to give you this kind of money as a care assistant is work night shifts. One of the most important things for you to know is, one, night shifts do not have a lot of stress, because you're not actually dealing with a lot of residents or a lot of patients, because most of the residents are asleep. Mostly at night you will deal with the people who are already admitted in the hospital, or the walk-in cases that are very severe, which are not as much or as many when you compare them to the day shifts. So, and also again, it is good for me to mention that care assistants or nurses, and in this case care assistants, are paid more when they work night shifts, because again, most people want to go and sleep and spend time with their family once the day is over. So if you choose the night shifts and you're working with an agency, you again make more money. Also, it is good for me to add that and say, when you're working with an agency, per day you're paid £16. If you're working during the day, you're paid £16 per hour, and when you're working the night shifts, you're paid £18 per hour. So you see that you'll make more and you'll achieve more financially if that is your goal, literally, when you're working the night shift. Tip number 5 is pick the one-to-one shifts. If you're in the healthcare industry, you know what I mean. By pick one-to-one shift, we mean that you pick the shifts that you're able, or that you have to tender to one patient. This is in the case of if you have a patient who is sick and they need to be fully under supervision. That is, you cannot leave them because maybe they are choking or they have a condition where you really need to be on the lookout as a care assistant. These are one of the best shifts to do, because you do not have to do a lot. You actually go take care of one patient the whole time, and when your shift is done, you go home. And you might be surprised, one-to-one shifts pay also £18 to £20 per hour when you're working or registered with an agency. Another tip is work during public holidays. The UK has lots of public holidays, so you have to choose again, because if you're a family person, you have to balance a family time. But if you're registered with an agency and you want to also make more money, the public holidays might be the deal for you. I want to give you a tip where I saw someone who is a registered nurse share and say that she works as a permanent resident or a permanent employee. So what she does, all the public holidays, she takes off days. Then on the side, she's registered to an agency, so she's on under her employer on public days, she's off, but she's working for the agency on public holidays. That way she's able to bring more money to her pocket or make more money. So really, whether you're a permanent employee or you're working under a resident, whether you're a permanent employee or you're working under an agency, if you want to get yourself some extra money for whatever reason you feel like, and you do not really mind, it is advisable for you to work public holidays, because again, you make more money. The last tip I'm going to share, and it is a very interesting tip, is you register with more than one agency. It is not bad. There is no rule that is ruling you out of registering under more than one agency. And the reason why you want to be doing this is for, one, flexibility, and two, it gives you more options. That is meaning that if one of the agencies that you're working with, they do not have a lot of night shifts and you want to work night shifts, you can always choose the two agencies' night shifts and work for the two agencies, or vis-a-vis. So, and also you're more flexible, because if you feel like this agency is paying lower than any other agency, you'll go to the other agency that you have registered with. So these are the tips that people are using to rake more than £3,000 as care assistants in the UK. The problem is sometimes it gets very tedious and your body is shutting down and you want to rest. But I'll give you a tip that I feel that I've seen people do, and I've seen one of my friends do, and it works very well for them. If you know, like in a month, you can take, for example, 10 night shifts and 10 day shifts. You can take either, if there are 3 public holidays, take 2, rest 1. So know how to balance your calendar. You can also be a permanent employee and also choose the route of you not working on public holidays, and in where you are employed as a permanent employee and working for the agency that you have registered with. People came here to make money, and I do not feel bad when people are using all these ways and tips and tricks to maneuver and make money, because the bills here are also crazy. So you have to really know what to do so that you can maneuver this economy, because times are difficult. But at the same time, while you're doing this, when you're using these tips, remember to take care of your body. Rest. If you feel like your body is shutting down, please take as much rest as possible. Remember, when your body is not functioning well, you'll also not be able to function well. So I hope this video will be able to help you. If you're looking to come here or you're already here, you know how to survive the harsh economic times and know how to maneuver and know how to break up as much as you can and pocket as much as you can. So that is all I had to share. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, leave me a comment, and ask me any questions that you have in the comment section. That is all I had for today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, bye.